These are the 18th annual Shonky Awards, and they're really the awards that call out the worst products and services and businesses that Choice has come across in the last year. Last year's Shonky Award for Qantas is a great example of the impact these awards can have. Qantas didn't pay attention when we called them out, and that was the start of a wave of consumer anger that has seen enormous changes at Qantas, and now a serious government inquiry into how we improve travellers' rights when they're booking with airlines like Qantas. Rent tech, which is platforms like TourPlay and Snug, are these platforms that many renters are pressured to use when they're applying for a property, but they're asking for outrageous amounts of data, personal references, photos of children, multiple employer referees. We think that's unfair, and particularly at a time when we've seen massive data breaches, the last thing people want to be doing is handing over massive amounts of personal information without knowing what's going to happen to it.
We've tested over 40 personal alarms over the years, and we can't recommend a single one. These devices are meant to call an emergency contact in a crisis, but what we've found is many of them can't be relied upon in an emergency. So instead of giving us some peace of mind, we're giving them a shonky today. The Choice experts have found the personal alarms really difficult to use. Some of our testers have had to call the manufacturers for certain alarms to understand the basics of how to set them up. If our experts need that much help, how is an everyday consumer meant to use them? Coles and Woolies love to talk about the ways they're helping people during the cost of living crisis. At the same time, they're banking huge profits. People are very sceptical. Our recent national survey found less than 20% of people think Coles and Woolies are doing everything they can to keep prices low. Our national survey found that more than 60% of people think Coles and Woolies are making a lot of money from the price hikes at the checkout. The survey also revealed that people are worried about the cost of food at the supermarket. Our survey revealed 88% of people are worried about the cost of groceries. This is up from 56% in 2021.
Well, you know when you're buying stuff online, it's kind of like a minefield. You have to tick and untick certain boxes depending on what you want to get, or whether you want to get newsletters, whether you don't want to pay for a subscription fee, blah, blah, blah. Well, Kogan has done that, except the box that you don't untick could cost you $99 2 weeks down the track. Well, there's just not enough legislation and regulation around this stuff in Australia. So in other countries, like in Europe, they have a lot tighter legislation around this stuff. You can't get away with kind of tricking people into getting stung with fees like this, whereas in Australia, we don't have enough. Well, everyone thinks they're too smart to get caught out with this stuff, right? But 6 of the 19 people that we tested accidentally signed up for the $99 Kogan First program without even knowing that they'd done it, which is crazy.
Perfect. Amazing.
Magic.
Great job, Mark. All right. Xbox fridge.
Yep, all right.
Mini fridge is getting a shonky this year.
Yeah, so this Xbox mini fridge was sort of like a Microsoft thing. It was like a response to an online meme about how their latest console looks like a fridge. So that's the background of why this thing exists. Why it's getting a shonky? Well, it doesn't work. Like, it's a fridge that literally doesn't make things cold, so that's why we're giving it a shonky.
How long did it take to cool down a couple of drink cans in our test?
Yes, so we tested it in the Choice Labs, and it took 24 hours to take a drink from 32 degrees to 21 degrees, which is actually warmer than tap water. Yeah, it takes up a lot of energy, probably the same as a 500-litre fridge that you would have in your kitchen. You know, the fridges that actually make things cold, whereas this one doesn't.
And what about the moisture issues?
Yeah, I mean, you can turn it, it only takes about 15-20 minutes for you to actually see moisture appear in the fridge, which isn't ideal, can freeze over the vents, which is really dodgy, and you can also, like, say you're putting in a carton, like a juice box, that's going to get soggy. So, not ideal.